you all set to go? Shit.
Are you bumping the mic with it?
It's got the mic.
You're bumping the mic with another mic?
I'm trying to. Is there any feedback here?
Do you know? You just
when you're bumping,
you just move it up like
yeah,
that.
you take it. It goes up.
You could just roll. You just roll it up.
No.
Like
You can
that.
slide it up. You can like take the don't not from the end. From there, and then grab onto it. Tight grip.
And then rotate.
That's not it. That's the opposite of a tight grip.
There you go. Rotate.
There you go.
Good.
No,
Oh.
dude.
Too much.
Yeah, that's way
That
too
should.
much.
Okay, that should be good.
I was really nervous. We have some pro gamers on the podcast. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're joined by Autumn and Bruce, video game and video people extraordinaires. Honestly, some fucking YouTube legends here.
YouTube legend.
Should I just like overhype? What's the Jerry Seinfeld thing?
Oh
where you're
yeah,
not
the
supposed
greatest
to do-
comedian of all time, Jerry
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
The two funniest people ever, the most gifted editor ever.
You called us pro gamers too.
That's not even close to true.
Furthest thing from.
Dude, these fucking headphones are roasting, by the way.
Oh yeah, they look like there's absolutely no breathing room for any
I'll
of
break.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
break the illusion of the bit here. I forgot the fourth pair of headphones at home, so I'm wearing my shitty $20 Amazon gamer gear right now.
You gotta explain that at home isn't here. It's all the way in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's not even-
okay.
My last pair of headphones is 2,000 miles away right now.
Oh.
You know, you could just use Amazon to buy other headphones. You know that, right? You just go to Amazon.com.
Yeah.
You can do that.
We also have smaller headphones that aren't this. Where'd you even get those?
I got them online. I got them on Amazon.
Oh, there you go. All right, there you go. Yeah.
Like 2 months ago, we were gonna play like Left 4 Dead or something. I was like, ooh, I just need a cheap headset.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know I could just use my snowball mic and
Yeah.
those headphones.
Yeah.
So I have this pair now. Yeah, so Bruce and Ottoman are in our homes.
Your place is very nice.
It is cool, yeah.
I really like it a lot. And you
A lot of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, it's located in a really nice area. You guys are just doing. This is great.
Thanks.
I'm really glad to see it. Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here, of course. One thing about the apartment is that some things look more impressive than they are. These arcade machines don't work.
Mm-hmm.
And they're how old?
Like a couple of months old.
So
Why'd you get them?
What?
Dude, do you have any experience with Arcade 1-Up at all as a company?
No,
Okay. No brand affiliation, not stepping on any toes at all?
none.
Dude, I'm working on a video about it very slowly. I should kick my ass in gear. I'll say right now, it's a shitty company
Oh.
right now. Dude,
Oh, no.
we got each of those cabinets right there are like $300, not including the little riser things for $50. And they were shipped and they're fucking broken. The Galaga machine went out after like 2 weeks and the joysticks went out. The Rampage machine doesn't have any audio on it. There's nicks and scratches all over. And I'm seeing on the subreddit lots of other people are complaining about them too, quality-wise.
That's why I came here to play those arcade games.
Yeah. Big old disappointment there, but
it was. We were getting it like especially because he was buying them and he wanted. We wanted them to be here before a party we were having back in January, and like we got them I think a week early, and by the time the party rolled around, one didn't work and the sound was not on the other one.
Yeah.
So people were like, "Oh, this is really cool. Yeah, they're new, but you can't play them at all."
we contacted the customer support stuff, and I told them about that. I said, I want 2 new cabinets, and they are insisting like 5 times over that I disassemble the cabinets, which are made out of particle board, and it's going to fuck up all the screw holes if
What
I do
the
that. They said, take them apart, look inside, give us the serial numbers, we'll send you replacement parts to assemble back into it yourself.
Got it.
Holy
I was like,
shit.
I said, well, the whole cabinet doesn't work pretty much, and it's
Yeah.
scratched up all over. I want new cabinets. And they're like, nope, send us a video detailing the problems. I sent it over, and they said, the video can be no longer than 5 seconds. It
What?
takes, if you turn it on, it
Oh my
takes 7 seconds for the screen to turn on.
What company
I
did you
know,
get?
what?
Where did these things even come from?
I don't know.
Apparently, the only company right now that can officially license those games to remake them is new arcade machines. So they're the only choice.
Got it. I understand. All right.
But they are still shitty. So
Gus, you got scammed.
I did
just
get
wanna-
scammed.
wanna let you
Yeah,
know. You got
sounds
scammed.
like it.
Yeah, bad
definitely.
news.
Big scam.
the same common problems coming up too is when the Rampage sound like didn't work. I went on the subreddit as Gus was like looking into it, and a bunch of people were just like, "Yeah, that just happens with the Rampage machines. You just open them up and the sound doesn't work." It's
Okay.
like, all right, cool.
All right.
A Bethesda
the
feature, yeah. Jesus Christ. Let's see here. So yeah, I have a couple of questions for you guys. I got an Autumn question right out of the bat.
Ooh,
Well, I guess it's
do it.
for both of you guys. Where did you get your training or experience for editing and stuff? Did you go to school?
So I did go to a what is the word for
Vocational school?
like a vocational school kind of, but it was for Avid. So I got my Avid training there, but I learned Premiere. I was interning at a production company for like shooting and G&E stuff, and they
Gus
needed
and Eddy
someone.
stuff, or-
Gus and Eddy
Okay.
stuff.
We've been doing this a while.
Yeah, we've known each other for like a really fucking long time.
Are you Tony?
Shut up. But yeah, and then they needed someone to like help with the editing, so I just learned Premiere. So no school editing experience with Premiere, just like self-taught. But Avid, yes, I do know how to use Avid from school.
Damn.
So that's it.
Yeah. What about you? Film school at all, or?
No, none of it. I think I was a radio DJ when I was 18.
No way.
Yeah, so I did that for 5 years, and that was what I was doing when I was getting my computer science degree. And I was like, well, do I go into computer science or do I go into entertainment? I went into entertainment.
Damn.
So, yeah, it was really fun. It was actually really fun.
Yeah, I
being a
never
radio
knew that.
DJ is fucking rad.
Dude, what kind of station was it?
It was like K-Rock, kind of here in LA, so it's like a modern rock station.
Yeah, I've heard of K-Rock. They had a booth outside the Renaissance Fair, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's the only place you can listen to it, right? It's
Yep.
right- You just gotta stay outside the booth.
It's canon for the fair.
I'm surprised radio's still around now because it's 2019. There's no reason to listen to radio on
You
on
listen
the radio.
to it all the time.
That's because I love being a radio DJ. But most people don't do that. So I don't know.
true.
It's still around though.
I think it still exists out of like laziness for like when
Yeah.
I'm sometimes it's just like, especially my car back in Chicago, the aux port broke, not the cord.
Oh, yeah.
So like, which I didn't do anything, it just like didn't work one day. But then it's like I hate connecting Bluetooth to things. I just hate using
It
Bluetooth
is
for everything.
annoying.
So most of the
Yeah.
time it's like I'll just listen to the radio. It's fine.
We were just talking about that. Yeah, we both like didn't have Bluetooth in our cars for like a really fucking long time. So I was always like making CDs or listening to the radio up until like 2015, and then I was like, oh, Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's cool.
And it
yeah.
still doesn't work in my car.
It doesn't,
So I don't
yeah.
even bother anymore. That's why I turn on K-Rock or Kiss with Ryan Seacrest.
There you go.
Yeah, you bet.
Dude, I had to say goodbye to my good girl Ruby last summer, my 2000 Ford Taurus that I bought for like $1,800 when I was a freshman in high school.
How many miles?
It was like 230, I think, or something, but like,
Unbelievable.
dude, it was a piece of shit though. I'm shocked because I almost never had to take it in for the shop. I had to replace the battery twice and, just regular oil change stuff.
Yeah.
But like all the running boards had rusted off.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
all the little window button mounts had like punched into the door, so I couldn't do the windows at all. But like, yeah, I sold it for like $200
I'm
last summer.
surprised you sold
Yeah,
that
yeah,
car.
I am
I know.
too.
The
Holy
worst I had
shit.
seen for you using it, because again, it's weird even thinking back last year was very like early YouTube shit for us, not like of doing it, but still being like not even close to professional a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah.
So like right before VidCon, it was before we moved out. So he was like flying to O'Hare, and then he was gonna you flew to O'Hare, you drove from Wisconsin, and then we were gonna fly out of O'Hare.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
So
like
it was
a
like
5-hour drive.
Yeah, it was like a 5-hour drive, and it was I think 95 degrees out, and your AC didn't work.
It
Fuck.
hasn't worked for 6 years.
Yeah.
So I had to get somebody else to like palm the window down half the time. So like put a palm on either side and then reach into the door and like assist the window down.
Yep. That's
And
like,
that was it.
I had a Saturn station wagon. You know what a Saturn is?
Yeah.
Do you remember
Okay,
Saturn
Those
cars?
tiny ones.
Yeah, I had a Saturn station wagon that friends of mine, we drove to Vegas one year. And so not only did the air conditioner not work, but the radiator didn't work either. So the radiator didn't work. And so what you have to do, actually, I don't know if this still works, but what you have to do is when your radiator doesn't work, you have to cool down the car. And it was 110 degrees on the drive to Las Vegas from Los Angeles. So we had to roll down the windows and turn on the heater. So you have to turn the heater on because the heater sucks the heat out of the engine so that it's not in the engine compartment, but then it blows it on.
Oh
Oh my god.
And that was a 5-hour drive to Las
Yeah.
Vegas. So
Jesus Christ.
stupid. So dumb. Just walk.
Yeah.
Just walk there at that point.
Dude, I do miss though, like having the limitations of only being able to do, because like my CD player broke too. When we bought it from the guy, his name was
man.
Jerry, and he's like, "Oh, I jerry rigged my own Jerry CD player," and he like wired it through the door, and it went like over the frame of the car into the
Holy
trunk. So if you wanted to change the CDs, there was like this big hunk of plastic in the trunk. So you
What?
had to
Oh my
go around
God.
and you could load 10 CDs into there
Yep.
and then go back to the front. But that, surprisingly broke after only 2 years. So I just had the tape deck, just a little Ford tape deck there. And I love that thing,
Yeah.
You go to Goodwill and it's like 25-cent tapes and
Yeah,
stuff.
hell yeah.
And now all that retro vibe is coming back. So even modern artists are like, hey, limited edition, like cassette of
Oh,
the
are they
new
really?
album and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So now I'm gonna get a car because I don't have one out here. I want to get like a $2,000, just some shitty car, and it's got to have a tape deck.
That's a good
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
Only
That's a good
qualification.
idea. Yeah.
I had a tape case. I don't know if you guys ever seen a tape case.
Like the full suitcase of them all.
It was
or-
like it's like literally like a giant suitcase,
Yeah.
and I could keep 20 tapes in it. But I also would keep underneath, so there's just it's huge, right? Cassettes are huge, and then underneath the 20 cassettes, I kept 2 Playboy magazines.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate. This was like when I was like 17 years old, and Playboys were hard to find.
Yeah.
They wouldn't sell them to me because I was underage. But I got those and I kept them in my tape case.
That's smart.
For an emergency.
No, yeah.
That trope of like finding Playboys like in the woods, is that a real thing? that
It
used
is
to happen?
absolutely a real thing. Unfortunately, I'm old enough to remember that. When you could go into the woods, and for some reason, porno mags were just everywhere.
Really?
I don't know why. I guess people would go into the woods and bring like homeless people or whatever, or maybe me, maybe people like me. We go into the woods and bring porno mags, and then I don't know why they would leave them there. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a rite of passage thing. They're leaving it for the next generation.
Maybe that's what it was. They were trying to be nice. They were trying to, but they
Spreading the seeds.
they were out there, and then you could find them. But don't ever, just a PSA, don't ever pick up a porno mag in the woods and take it home with you.
Oh.
Don't do that because it's probably covered with somebody else's DNA.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't touch it.
But if it's in the woods, none of the germs get to you because
Right.
it's in the woods.
Well,
Those
as
are the
long as
rules.
it's on the ground, you don't touch it.
You're turning the pages with your foot.
Yeah. Blowing.
Don't touch it.
like a really long branch.
I was sharing a Chrome browser with my dad, and you can see like history that like goes
This is a great
across.
story. This is a great story.
Oh my fucking god! So I was on it one day, and I was typing something into the search bar, and all of a sudden it was like fat woman wearing lingerie or something like that, and he was looking at. I don't think my dad understands that you can look at porn on the internet. Like he was looking at Playboy online.
Oh.
But he was trying to find a very specific. I don't know. It was
Like
really
the
fucking
magazine
weird.
online?
Yeah, like the magazine. I was like, you don't have to do that. I wanted to help him, but I was like, I can't
Yeah.
do
You wanted
that.
to
Yeah.
Page
There's a line.
18, 2008
Yeah.
issue.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe there's a computer in the woods that I could look up on. He can cut it out if he wants. This is a Tony story, so I'm sorry, Tony. It's like the reverse. Is one time I think we were like, he might cut this out. I think we were like 11, and it was by the time where we had like a family laptop, not even desktop at the time, but somebody, I had definitely looked at porn,
Oh, yeah.
but I had cleared my history and I was confident about that. So then I remember my dad coming to me and being like, "Hey, this is not me. Your mom is making me ask, like, were you looking at something you weren't supposed to on the computer?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
And then he went right to Tony, and Tony confessed right away. And I was like, "Thank God." And I was like, that dumbass didn't clear the history. He's fucked for it.
Oh my god.
Feel free to cut that out. I'm sorry, dude.
That's a great story. Don't cut it, Tony.
Yeah, it's staying in. God, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Do you remember like the very first exposure to like porn or something that you had when you were growing up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I think so. Oh, I always tell people this story because it's fucking weird. But I don't remember. It was like one of those like black sheep websites, like or something like that, and they had sexual Mad Libs.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so you'd like they'd be these Mad Libs that were like they were Mad Libs, but they were sexual in nature, and
Okay.
you'd still fill in the blanks.
All
with,
right.
So
like-
you're doing the work and then you're
Yeah.
titillating yourself.
I'm like 9 fucking filling in this sexy Mad Lib, and then I tried to print it out, but it like got stuck or something. And so I panicked and I shut the computer off, and then the next day my mom turned the
no.
computer on and it printed out. And she was like, "What the fuck is this?" She was like, "Just watch porn. What are you doing?" Oh
my God.
It was super weird.
That's so funny. I remember I always got really lucky growing up because my grandpa, of all people, ironically, was probably the most tech-savvy person in our whole small town.
Setting it up like that for
Oh,
porn
yeah.
stories is very odd.
He showed me the way. No, but like, because he ran like a computer repair shop, so he's still, he's in his mid to late 70s. He could do anything. Latest
fucking awesome.
Yeah,
data,
that's right.
everything. But I would always get his old hand-me-down smartphones because he was just a compulsive upgrader. So when I was like at the end of 7th grade or something, he gave me the old Motorola Dash. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah.
Windows phone,
Oh my
full
God.
keyboard
I
with
do.
like extra buttons, all physical buttons.
Yeah.
So that was my first phone, and I just remember one time where I was like in 7th grade, and I hadn't like sought out porn online, you know, at all. But I was just like in the bathroom, and I was going on the web browser. I was looking at like, you know, ICANN has cheeseburger or some shitty old like fail blog or whatever. And I just remember I Googled the phrase like stupid people, you know, because I was just like, I just want to find some good fail memes or whatever. And I was on like page 4 of Google, and I saw this image result, and it was, I guess, at the World Naked Bike Parade, and there was just like 30 naked ladies on
Oh.
bicycles. And it didn't occur to me. I was like, why didn't I think of this? I could just find naked pictures online.
Oh, yeah.
But I was always so deathly afraid. I didn't know the technology. I was like, can my mom see my search history stuff on like through the router or
I
something?
always pictured
Yeah.
like Verizon coming to my dad and being like, "We have to talk to you."
I know, dude. I thought so. What I would always do is like every time I searched anything, I would always start it with like a semicolon or something that no one would ever start typing with, assuming like,
Oh.
oh, if there's the drop down and someone has my phone and
The
searches.
autocomplete?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's actually pretty smart.
So I would do that, and I would only type in nondescript phrases and hope something came up like funny fail or like beach fail or dumb swimsuit.
So
you know?
you couldn't,
So I just
you couldn't Google porn, but
Yeah.
you could Google something around it.
exactly, and I'd just be like, "Come on, page 12 of Google, give me some search results."
Man, that's like exactly how YouTube operates nowadays.
Yeah.
Swimsuit fail. It's just like
Yeah.
fucking child porn. You're like,
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what? Yeah, whoa, I didn't want
Jesus
that.
Christ, yeah.
Jeez.
Oh well, those are the good old days, the Wild West.
I was really happy with when we filmed the Funhouse podcast. Dude Soup, I know the name. I wasn't just saying it like that. But I was really worried people were going to be like, wow, you guys don't know what you're talking about or anything. Because remember, it's like
Maybe why?
when we filmed it, we had that position of like, hold on, maybe we shouldn't go like pitchforks for it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it was
And
right on after the news broke.
Yeah, and people that were saying, hold on, the second day when we filmed it were like getting destroyed online. But by the time it released a couple of days ago, it had gone by and people kind of woke up about it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, okay, cool. Because I was getting really nervous because a lot of people were like stating their opinion on Twitter and just getting destroyed.
Yeah, no, I know. It was kind of an unpopular opinion to be like, maybe hold on a second before
Yeah.
like you just rip YouTube entirely because it affects millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
And this whole ecosystem. But YouTube actually, I was just at the YouTube Creator Summit last week, and YouTube is there's basically working the hardest they've ever worked on any of that stuff, and I totally believe them when they say it. They truly are like getting rid of videos that have bad comments. So they're like demonetizing videos that have bad comments. They're banning thousands and thousands of accounts and all that other stuff. So they really are trying to crack down on it, which is good.
Yeah.
Because like we were sort of like, hey, just be careful before you go shutting down everything, all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think they tried to do that in the best possible way, which is
Yeah.
good. Which is good.
And it's real dicey with that guy, but there was a lot of weird shit with that
what I was
dude.
hearing,
Yeah,
yeah.
like older clips of him talking about like him being frustrated with not being a big YouTuber and kind of
Yep.
wanting to like
Huh.
tear down the system. And it's like,
Ooh.
all right then. And it was nice even after Reddit like pushed everything up to the top. Like the next week, we're like, hey guys, maybe we went a little too far. It's like, yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yep.
The biggest thing too is like it's hard to just boil it down and simplify it to like one single phrase. But just from a perspective of blaming YouTube for it, like what incentive would they have to not try to crack down on this right now?
People have their theories, man.
There's like, oh, they're benefiting financially and stuff. I'm going through the dregs of the Reddit comments and stuff, like,
Yeah.
oh, they got their incentives. It's like, what fucking business incentive or
No,
even
no, no.
moral incentive would they have to not try to fix this?
It's exactly the opposite. They're not benefiting financially. They're actually losing billions of dollars.
Yeah, I saw that report. Wasn't it 7 billion of like
Yeah.
not like actual? What was it was like a worth thing, right? It wasn't like the actual. Like,
No, they
revenue?
they lost billions of dollars worth of business
Oh,
because
okay,
like
yeah.
basically advertisers were like, if you don't fix this right now, we're pulling out.
Hmm.
And that's what happened during Adpocalypse in 2017 is that they did the same thing where they're like, they didn't even say if you fix this, we'll give you a little time. They didn't do that. They just pulled out, and they lost. It was like somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 billion. Like it was like, and so
From
that,
this last one?
no, from Adpocalypse.
Oh, the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
From this last one, it was probably more somewhere. I think I actually heard the number. It was like 880 million.
Ah, baby money.
Yeah, exactly. And it was one of those things where like people don't realize that when YouTube loses $880 million, that means you lose money I lose money. Everybody who's on YouTube loses money that is trying to make it as a career or even just making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a strange thing where it's like, yeah, of course we want YouTube to fix all this terrible stuff that has to do with children, of course, and I'm glad they're doing it. But at the same time, when you do that, it affects all sorts of other people that are trying to make the content that you watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I hated too is that when everyone was really riled up about it, I understood where they were coming from. But there's a group of people that like anything somebody would say about that was measured was like, "Oh, you're just thinking about your paycheck." It's like, well, like if a teacher does something wrong, we don't just stop paying the school. Like that's not. They were just fully. But again, where they were coming from was like a noble place because they didn't want people to get hurt.
100%.
So it was weird to like try and debate anything with them because it's like, no, you're right to an extent, but also maybe you should be measured about it.
Yeah, it's the thing. In subject matter wise, so many people when they're trying to get into like debates like that, they just look at the topic of it and they'll blindly rush to the defense of who seems to be the most like negatively affected by it. And I totally understand that. Of course, we don't want children to be taken advantage of, but like you have to look at the full situation here. Like, I don't know.
I think it's a symptom of just getting older. It's like, generally as you get older, you go like, wait a minute, hold on, there's like 5 or 6 different sides to this versus the one that you're used to. So I don't know. That's just what happens.
What do you think, like, this is a big question, but like, what do you think business-wise is one of the biggest problems for creators these days?
I want to hear your answer.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I want to hear your answer first.
I don't know. You've been doing it for such a long time.
I know, and that's why I'm so boring. it's always so like it's measured the way I talk about it. That's why I wanted to hear your answer first.
I mean, I feel like I'm safe from it mostly because I've been working with companies. So
Okay.
like I haven't the most independent I've been on YouTube was with Sugar Pine before we were bought by Rooster Teeth, and like even then Steve was paying me a salary. So like I don't know. I haven't really ever been affected by it enough to say I don't think.
Okay, yeah. It's because I think you guys how long have you both been on YouTube?
Like professionally or just uploading videos? 'Cause, like,
Professional. Let's say like making a living from it.
Making a living probably since I was going into my sophomore year in college.
Oh, okay.
But again, making a living for me at the time, like my tuition was so tiny and I was still working a second job.
Yeah.
Like I had for like 3 years in college, my total monthly cost of living, including rent, gas, like internet, utilities, food, and stuff, was like maybe $400.
Okay.
Oh,
Like
wow. Yeah.
dirt cheap.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so I was able to be full time on it, for like 3 years in college,
That's pretty
but
good.
my
Yeah.
cost of living was nothing.
But then, by the time it was like this, I think yours was like early 2017, and then for me it was like very end of 2017. Algorithm like kind of hit my channel, so like around then. So it's
Mine was end of 2016 after Par 9. the
okay, so
Spotify
exactly
shit.
year before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So repeat the question for me because I want to make sure I give you a shorter answer than a longer answer.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just thinking, and it's very broad strokes.
It is, yeah.
Business wise, what is one of the biggest problems or threats to creators?
Threats to creators on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay, so business-wise, I think it's that you feel like you have to change your content to hit the algorithm. That's the thing that I've noticed with a lot of other people is that when you're on YouTube, and I was again at this creator summit I was at last week, a lot of people were saying, "Yeah, I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years professionally, but in the last year, nobody's watching my videos. My subscribers are going down, my views are going down, whatever. And then eventually you have to go, do I want to change what I'm doing and not feel true to myself? Because on YouTube, you're supposed to be passionate about what you're passionate about. That's what you do. That's how you make content on YouTube, is you feel passionate about something and then you make content about it.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing that, then you're lying to the audience, you're lying to yourself, and it's bad. And everybody can tell. The audience sees right through it. So that is the biggest business hurdle, is trying to figure out how to position yourself on YouTube, but also make the stuff that you want to make. Man, is that hard. It is so hard.
Damn.
And it's one of those things that like we've been doing for a long time on Funhouse, that every single day it's a new hurdle. It's a new well, what do we put in the thumbnail? What do we put on the title to get people to watch this? Even though we know people will watch it, right? But eventually no one's gonna watch it anymore because they're gonna move on to other channels, or you're just not gonna be part of the algorithm. And it's super strange. But it's also part of life in general. I think it's like you're making a television show or a movie. That's what happens. You're not relevant anymore because you're not making the stuff that is popular. So that's tough. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, damn.
So.
I mean, even just with the Funhouse stuff, or you individually for like what you've been doing, what do you think has been a couple factors that have led to such continued success over the years?
For Funhouse, I think it's one of those things where we have a pretty moderate amount of success, which is great. That's exactly kind of what we want it to be, moderate to growing.
Okay.
We don't want to be some viral sensation, right? And then it just flame out.
That's why I always say that's the worst thing is like when people get jealous of like creators that go right up. It's like, what? Look at them in a year.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not going to be great.
Sugar Pine.
I know, and I'm not, and it's actually Sugar Pine 7 is a great example because I didn't want that to happen ever. I wanted these guys to sustain, and you know I'm sure they will in other forms. But either way, with Funhouse, it's been because we've always stayed true to what we wanted to make, and the audience has stayed incredibly dedicated. That's one of those things that when people come to me and go, "Yo, I watch Funhouse," or "I've been watching since Inside Gaming," whatever. That I feel such gratitude to those people because they've stayed with me for 5-6 years. That's insane to get somebody to watch you for 5 or 6 years consistently. Man, oh man, I cannot thank them enough. I really can't. So.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
you guys
That's
are
great.
very consistent, and like you've had the same people too for a really long time, and that it's just people want to watch the same thing over and over. Like
If it's good.
If it's good, yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of change I think an audience will tolerate is like not
It's
very
so
much.
little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a
It's
very
so little.
razor thin margin.
It's so little, and that's another thing about business on YouTube is that, like with you guys are building a fantastic base right now. But if, for example, Gus is like, you know what? I've decided I want to be a beauty vlog channel.
Yeah. Nope.
I don't know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Yeah, you know, like I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So thankfully, you're not into that stuff, as far as
Yeah.
I know.
What? How did you make that assumption?
But I mean, I feel like if you guys stay in the same wheelhouse, or you like branch out a little bit here and there, it should be fine.
Yeah, I think what's nice that happened kind of with us, well, there's some like certain factors. Like I think one big thing is that we were kind of like internet friends for like 2 months, and then we met in person and we're like real life friends right through it. So I think like that's why a lot of people get that feeling that like we're actually real friends because we are.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's nice because like Gus, now you do commentary videos and they're great too. But like I've always wanted to have a channel where I can make what I want, but also just like talk about things and kind of structure it that way. Like a commentary video, you can do sketches in it, you can do like kind of whatever you want. And then also like with his stuff, I can do stuff that I can't do on my channel with him, and he can do that with mine. So it's nice where it's like if he wants to do other stuff that has to do it in my circles, then he can do that, and vice versa with us.
Yeah.
Which has been nice because it's like if I'm feeling like, oh man, I want to do more sketch stuff, he's my roommate. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
way easier to do.
The lucky thing is we've benefited, or even just like personally for my channel stuff, I've made adaptations that haven't taken me out of what I still wanted to do. Because starting off, I was really trying to get into that Reddit groove and try to make more just like shit posty, quick, kind of just fully the definition of meme stuff
Yeah.
to just try to get subscribers in. I wasn't making money on them, you know, they were like 20-second videos a lot of the time. Just get eyes on what I was doing and then like start to work in other stuff, like here's some music stuff. And then I started being able to do longer form sketch things. And then even as late as I think it was like last September that I did my first like commentary thing. Luckily that has performed well on my channel too, because I like doing it and just like picking apart like goofy stuff. I love shooting stuff with Eddie. We got more joint projects coming out. But now it's like I can do sketch stuff, I can do music and musical comedy stuff, and I can do commentary and the podcast even on this channel, and it's like people have no problem with any of that.
That's
So
great.
that's
That
been
is
pretty
awesome.
lucky. But
Yeah, that's great. That's the definition of YouTube. That's what you're supposed to do is like lock into a personality, and then kind of whatever they do, you're supposed to stick with them and
Yeah.
be like, oh, you know, I really like Gus, or I really like Eddie, or I like Autumn, or whatever. And they're like, I like what Autumn does. It doesn't matter what Autumn is like. Well, I know Autumn got popular because she made music videos or whatever. It's instead she's now she's doing commentary videos, she's doing, you know, shit posts or memes or whatever. It's like they should like it because generally they like Autumn. So
yeah, were you gonna add something before?
No.
All
I
right,
don't
get the
think
fuck
so.
out of
Fucking leave.
I have a couple questions, if they're cool, about some of the newer stuff you guys have been doing, especially just Inside Gaming, basically.
Oh, yeah.
One thing is, I gotta ask just personally how it felt to like acquire that shit back.
yeah.
Like, because that was one, like, just as somebody who watched it, like a victory moment to see on Twitter, where I was
Oh,
like,
that's great.
Holy shit, they got it back? What?
So I guess to give the audience a little background on Inside Gaming. So Inside Gaming was a daily news gaming show, video game news show that we were doing on Machinima, but Adam Kovic started it long ago in 2009. He'd been doing it for 4 years before I even started with him. And so Adam gets all the credit for starting this brand. And from there, when in 2013 and 2014, when I joined him, we were doing it. We did a little gameplay channel called Inside Gaming. And when we left Machinima, they were like, we're going to continue doing Inside Gaming news. And we were like, fine, no problem. It's your brand, whatever. We're like, it probably won't work, but give it a shot.
Yeah.
They tried it and it failed. And we were bummed because like we liked doing the news. Lawrence, Adam, and I loved doing it. And we tried to do it on the No, and which is another Rooster Teeth video game news channel. Couldn't really get it to catch there, so we stopped doing it. Fast forward to a phone call I got from somebody, one of the higher ups at Rooster Teeth, called me in November of 2018? Yeah, it was November of 2018. He called me and was like, "Yo, Machinima's probably coming back to Rooster Teeth in the sense that like all the brands from Machinima, including Inside Gaming, are coming to us. What should we do with it?" And I was like, "Restart Inside Gaming."
Yeah.
I don't like. Why wouldn't you do that? Let's try it.
Yeah.
Because at this point, there's kind of nothing left to lose. And they were like, "Yeah, okay, let's give it a shot." And I never would have guessed that people like you remembered it. I thought for sure we were going to start this thing and everyone's going to be like, "Who the fuck are these dudes?"
Oh no, it was one thing that like it's something that my brother and I watch all the time. Fuck you, Tony. But like it's great because even like through watching some of the Funhouse stuff or like all of the Funhouse stuff, basically just didn't want to like out as kind of a fan. But like it was still like, oh, I would love for them to bring that back. And then it was still like, yeah, then Gaming Weekly kind of came along and it was like, okay, that's cool too. And then when you fully brought it back, it was like, oh, I'm back. I've watched most of the episodes you guys are putting out. Like.
Wow.
Like even the weekend stuff is really good too.
The weekend stuff is from the Austin crew, and then the weekday stuff is from the LA crew. But I think the most important part of Inside Gaming that I can't say enough of, and this is going to sound biased and ridiculous, is her, because she edits each episode, and we are at this point older men. So me, Adam, and Lawrence.
You're not up on the memes while you're saying.
Hey, how dare you? But
God, that was a fail, Autumn.
Put me on I Can't Have Cheeseburger.
It's a dumb swimsuit fail.
But she's edited every episode, and I don't know what did you think about, because you watched Inside Gaming back then,
Yeah,
right?
I did. Yeah.
I'm curious to see what your perspective on this, because I haven't really talked to you about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was the same as you. Like, Inside Gaming was always like, I mean, you guys are still great and amazing, but everyone looks back at Inside Gaming with like a lot of nostalgia. I think it was so good and so funny and like. So I don't know, when it came back, I was just like, fuck yeah. I don't know how to pronounce this word, but Schadenfreude?
Oh, Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
Oh, where you're in that groove and everything's like going, or
No, not at all. I don't know what you're thinking of.
I don't know.
Schadenfreude, I thought it was that you take pleasure in the...
It's like it's like I got a lot of pleasure in the fact that you guys
Oh,
took
we got
it
it
back
back.
from Machinima.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like, oh
Oh,
yeah, that feels real good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's cool getting to actually like edit it and do it, because I mean, that's always been a staple of your guys' thing, is like I think the edit, bringing it to another level. So
Well, the editor's another character.
yeah.
And-
Oh,
and-
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have watched any of the new episodes, but like they're edited so much funnier. And I'm not saying the editing was bad back then, because it wasn't. It's all Matt Peak.
Yeah.
Matt Peak did a fantastic job. But you have brought an entirely different flavor to Inside Gaming that I don't know that anybody really has noticed or appreciated as much as they should.
It was noticeable. I messaged Autumn about
Yeah,
it.
you did,
It was
yeah.
fully, I was like,
All right, good.
man, I love the whole show, but like, there's a lot of memes and everything too, and it's like
She's all over it.
Even
Yeah.
just the small like title cards at the bottom are really funny all
Those
the
are all
time
her.
too. Like they're
Thanks,
great.
guys.
Those are all her.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the favorite? What's your favorite task in your current job, and what's like been your favorite project to work on over the last few years?
Well, right now I really like doing daily news stuff. That's what I was doing at SourceFed too, and I enjoy the challenge of it, like the having to get it done in 4 hours, the having to make it like funny in 4 hours, kind of a situation. That is always really nice. I hate like projects that span over days and days, because I just get like super in my head and then I procrastinate and then it just stresses me out. So I enjoy that right now. I'm trying to think over the past few years. There's been a lot of stuff with Sugar Pine that was cool to do. Like some of the music videos were cool. I'm trying to think.
Cecilia, you cut, right?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
Cecilia
nice.
was fun.
And I cut ass on that Dancing Up a Storm, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I realized
I know, is that a
that's a
phrase?
fart, but I meant to say dancing. Yeah, I was just a backup dancer on that. but
Yeah,
that came out really like
it
tight.
did,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Did you choreograph that?
No, that some Mimi's friend.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
right,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some dancer lady.
I shouldn't. Oh, Emma Birdie.
Yeah.
Why do I remember that
I
name?
don't know why.
She was
That's
very
really weird.
nice.
She
Yeah.
was super nice. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There was so much stuff we did with Sugar Pine. Like I can't even remember all of it. It's a blur of content and things.
I know you liked Water Warrior.
Oh yeah, Death of the Water Warrior was
Yeah,
cool. That
yeah.
was fun to cut.
Uh-huh.
What was the big? Why don't I even remember the movie that we did?
Oh, The Woods.
Yeah.
That was a fucking nightmare. I'm just gonna be honest. I edited some of it, and then I was like, I can't fucking do this. So Steve did most of that, but yeah, that's it.
Well,
Damn.
I liked following your Sugar Pine 7 stuff just because it was so different.
Yeah.
And you guys, I don't know, whatever you were putting out felt original, which is very, very hard to do in media in general.
Yeah.
Is to make things that feel original, and you guys did a really good job.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was very fun sometimes and a lot other times, and
What was your schedule like, kind of like at the peak of everything there?
Oh yeah, tell them your schedule.
fucking nightmare. Well, we first started dating like right around when we went to Streamy, so that was like at the height of fucking everything we were doing. That was when we were doing The Woods too, and I worked all the time. Like, I don't think I was never not working. There was a night where we were working on The Woods, and I think I was there till like, I don't even remember how late. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Like, I was there. I was working really, really late. I was working till like 1 a.m. or something, and then I came home for a little bit to see you. Yeah. And then while we were there, I was like I was trying to export this fucking video, and it wouldn't fucking export. And I kept waking up like every 2 hours to like see how it was doing. And then I think I woke up at like 6 a.m. the next day to get it finished. And like, it was a lot. We worked all the time. Like, me and Steve were working all the time.
You were. It was true. Yeah. And they would, like, you guys would get into work around like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And then you worked till 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah. We were working constantly. Yeah.
It was that pace was insane and unsustainable.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, they're super ADHD boys. Like, they can do that, and I'm just like, I'm like, dude, I need to fucking sleep.
Yeah.
I can't do this. But
How do you? I was gonna ask, cause like a problem that I have all the time is just staying focused, especially during edit stuff. Like, how the fuck do you stay focused for
you
such
gave
long
a great
periods?
tip on Twitter like months ago when I asked about it. It was like you were saying something
yeah.
about it. Or did I flat out put it out and then you answered? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I think I said that I make yourself get up and like walk around every 10 minutes, because at a certain point you don't want to walk around anymore. So then you're just like, fuck it, I'll just fucking edit and sit
I
here.
still do that now.
Does it actually help?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I have a horrible focusing problem with editing. Editing
Yeah.
takes me like 3 whole days to do my videos. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I'll just be sitting there from like 10 a.m. to like 6 a.m. sometimes, and then so I need those too. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that helps. Yeah, honestly, I think it's a personality thing. Like, I think a lot of people just aren't built to edit, and like, because it's fucking boring. Like, a lot of it's boring. A lot of editing is not fun at all. But I get very like locked into stuff really easily, so I think my brain is made for it. But yeah, I don't know. It takes a lot sometimes, like, and that's another thing too why I like doing daily news, because I don't have a choice. I'm like, I just have to fucking finish this. Like,
yeah.
I don't have time to procrastinate it. So that's another thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we were just saying we work the best under time constraint stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
and it
definitely.
oftentimes doesn't feel like you're compromising the end product. We're just like,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to do as good a job, but now I have to get a kick in the ass.
Yeah.
We were just saying, even as of recently, we finally collaborated. We got a big, like, full monthly calendar, and now we've been writing out, like, daily our individual and group projects and stuff. And it's
great.
really just kind of kicked us into gear now. We're like, shit, we're doing this today. We got to get this done.
You got to
So,
get it done. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
That
yeah.
is great.
And
Yeah.
it's good that you guys put it into practice on your own. That it wasn't somebody else being like, you got to do it that way. It was just like, you just figure it out.
Yeah, I think it especially came together this month because I'm going back home to Chicago for like 6 weeks because my sister's
Oh,
getting
wow.
married, and
Oh,
there's
got it.
there's like a yearly trip to New York. I do like a road trip with one of my friends, and he pushed that kind of earlier, so it ended up being a long trip. And like I realized with going back home since I moved, I am not productive at all when I go home
Got it.
because it's like filming in my family house is weird. It used to be normal because like people would be gone, but especially the summer, my mom's a teacher, so it's like
yeah.
it's really weird. So like yeah, now we were even talking about like what we have to stock up for the podcast and my own videos that I want to film here, and we were like, we need to get something
Yeah.
because I can't just do this here. I'll lose everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, welcome to the YouTube grind. That's
Yeah.
it's one of those things that we take a week or two off every holiday. Funhouse does, but we have to produce all the videos before we leave because otherwise, then people don't have videos to watch over the holiday break. So we just end up working double is what we do. We usually work double for about a month, and then we've got a bunch of videos that we can put up. But we have to do that every single year for the holidays, and it's
Yeah,
like
geez.
it's interesting because I don't know that people talk a lot about burnout on YouTube. And burnout for streamers and stuff like that, and that's a absolutely real thing. And I don't know. It's like we don't really have much room to complain because we put ourselves in the situation, right? So we put ourselves in the situation of having to make a lot of YouTube videos or Twitch streams, whatever. But at the same time, eventually, you have to message to your audience, be like, I'm sorry, I have to take a break, or else my head will explode.
Yeah.
And that's like it's a strange. It's like it's just hard to explain because I don't want to take a break. I want to make content all the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know that I could creatively make good stuff if I didn't take a break every now and then. So,
do you have a hard time giving yourself a break from stuff? Like, because it pains me. I was saying too, this is nowhere near the scale of what you guys are doing over there, like with the whole office stuff. But in the last 4 years, I have not gone more than 7 days without uploading like anything. And again, I get lucky sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, oh shit, here's a one-take video that will like take me 10 minutes to film, an hour to edit. Boom, that's a week. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, most of the time I try to do 1 to 3 times a week, and I just 2 days after an upload, I'm like, oh, I feel like garbage, dude. I got to put something out there. Like, do you have a hard time giving yourself a break?
Oh, I know you do. I mean, Bruce has been traveling so much the past month, and like his Twitch streams have suffered a lot for it.
yeah, it's. I was just talking to her about it because it's like I feel bad because I get stressed out. So I've been streaming on Twitch pretty consistently for about 6 months now. And we had to travel for Arizona Circle. We were shooting the sketch show in Austin. So I was flying back and forth for 5 weeks, and then I just flew to New York. So it was 6 weeks of travel. And I went back to my Twitch channel. It was the same thing. I would like look at it like every other day and be like, shit. Like I'm losing subs. I'm like, I get it. I'm not blaming anybody for it other than myself because I'm gone. But at the same time, man, it hurts. It hurts so much. And I'm just like, I just got to turn on a Twitch stream and like, talk to people and be like, it's like engaged. Because number one, I love doing it. But number two, I want to keep that going. I want to keep that business going and keep that because I love doing it so much that I'd like it to be a thing that I can continue to do. But when you disappear for a while, you're no longer relevant. That's it.
I
And
hate
also,
that.
I think even looking at the statistics, like you could look at it in the normal life way of like, that's kind of like with trips for me when I travel is usually I won't post or like I'll try to get something ready and then it'll be later than usual. So it's like you could look at it in your life way of like, okay, here's like one upload in the analytics, here's a second one, and then here's this big drop. And normally you could go like, oh, that's my break time, that's my vacation. But it just looks like a big drop. Where you're just like, that's me being lazy, that's my channel being destroyed. Like it just doesn't click right.
Well, there's also sort of a not very well kept secret about Twitch and YouTube is that if you are not consistently on their platform, they're not going to recommend your stuff as much because you're not relevant and other people are doing what you're not doing, which is uploading every day or streaming every day. So YouTube and Twitch reward you for being on it all the time, every day.
Yeah, fully happened to me. When we moved, I uploaded a lot less, and my channel started to not go down, but the growth went a little bit less, like each month. And then in November, I did weekly uploads, and my channel doubled. And it was just like, fuck. All right, so I had to work way harder to just make sure this doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's just the way those platforms are designed. So it's like, again, it's not a like a secret, but that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
That's what they've designed their platform. So.
Absolutely. By the way, what's your Twitch channel? Well, Tony, toss that bad boy up in the description, would you?
Oh,
Eddie
every
does
week,
it. Oops.
I do the descriptions, and every week he asks Tony to put something, I go, no, it's my judgment.
Tony, give Eddie permission to do that.
Thanks, Tony.
What are you guys streaming? What's your channel?
So usually her and I are streaming on twitch.tv/Bruce Green. But occasionally, like, it'll be me just by myself or with other people playing or whatever. So it's like whenever she's free or has time or doesn't want to, like when she's feeling relaxed, she'll come and stream with me because you work just as hard as I do. So, and then like YouTube, same thing, youtube.com/Bruce Green, same deal.
Hell yeah. Go smash that MF and subscribe button.
I don't think I've ever said once to subscribe to my channel. Thank you, Gus.
You guys would be at 10 million subs.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's got to be that smash that MF and subscribe button.
That's the key.
What's the point?
He's talking that Gus and Eddy bump. It's 10 million subs.
I have an interesting question for you guys, and it's sort of more directed to the audience too. I always wonder if the audience gets bored by us talking about our job.
Dude, I don't know.
Do you know?
It's such a meme too on the podcast. we bring it up weekly because we're just so pleasantly surprised and motivated by it. The podcast has been so fucking consistently growing since we
great.
did
That's
it.
really good.
We're like 8 months into this now or something.
Yeah,
Like,
I just don't get it because we changed the format. In the beginning, it was like very guest heavy, and then we were like, "Fuck, this is really hard to sustain having a
is,
guest
yeah.
every week." And then we were like, "Okay, let's do a little bit more that's just like us talking." And everyone was like, "Great, do that thing that's way easier. We like hearing you guys talk." And I still don't get it. I don't get why people listen to this podcast.
and the thing is, even since then, since we made that switch, because when we started, what do we have, like 5 guests in a row, and those were our first like episodes.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest issue is like we were kind of trying to do more of a formal interview kind of thing. Like, here's the list of questions and stuff, and we weren't taking Twitter questions, I don't think. But now that even since we've been having guests on again, it's just that air of like, I don't know, what do you think about this? You know, you ever shit your pants? How could you drink Listerine?
So yeah, well, the things to answer your question about the jobs thing though is a lot of people on Twitter. Most of the questions that still come in, well, not most anymore, but a lot are still just asking about YouTube. Because I think it's we all get bored of it because it's like a lot of the talk with other YouTubers.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of people I think just have completely no idea how it works, so they want to know.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah.
YouTube is magic to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, usually kind of mid podcast, we keep sprinkling in a lot of that talk, and the retention time's super high still. And like,
Yeah, I just don't get it.
It's good. I just always feel bad because we talk about YouTube a lot on DudeSoup as well, and I just don't want our audience to get. I don't want you guys to get bored. To me, that's important. That they're not like, oh, YouTube again.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. You work on YouTube. You know, like, I don't know. Like, that's just an interesting question.
absolutely, yeah. And you do Dude Soup once a week?
Once a week, we do DudeSoup on Funhouse.
Funhouse, yeah.
Yeah, Funhouse is the comedy channel and gaming channel we run.
Subscribe. Pause the video right now. Go over there. Subscribe. Smash that
Smash that
MFN.
MFN button.
Like-
That's
button.
10 million more subs. than
10
what I
million,
do.
dude.
You guys are saving Funhouse.
They stack exponential, actually. So that's 100 million if it's exponential. Fuck, dude. God damn.
I think people too want to work for YouTube. So hearing about it is like
Some do, yeah.
interesting. It's
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
feeling of like hearing about something that you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you want to listen to it and feel like you're doing it.
I
too.
think you're right. I think there are a lot of people out there that want to do the YouTube thing, and my people always ask me almost every day. I get a tweet. It's like, how do I start a blah blah blah? I'm like, just do it.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
no answer other than to do it right now. Like that's to me, it's always like, well, what do I need? A computer and blah blah. No, use your phone, post videos, do it now.
Yeah.
right
Okay.
now.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of ours questions. We get so many at the starting level kind of thing. So I got a question then for you, a quick one. What advice business wise would you give to somebody that has a little bit of momentum going, that's starting off? You know, a few thousand subs, maybe on YouTube, a little bit of a following, doing Twitch stuff. What's your business advice for that?
You have any business advice?
I don't know. You guys are all like individual creators. I don't do that shit.
yeah, I
Believe
know.
in yourself.
Yeah. Well,
Don't
actually,
live
that's
stream on the PUBG bridge. Stay away from it.
I guess my business advice then would be to don't stop being consistent. So, right for the first year or two on YouTube, you're going to see no money. Just be aware you're going to see no money.
Yeah.
Just do it for fun. Do it for fun because otherwise, you're going to be doing it for nothing. Don't think that you're starting a business from scratch. Like I was like, oh well, right now I put my second video up, I should make $10 or $20. You're not going to make any money. So just fucking grind it out, man. Make videos that you're passionate about. Do the things that you want to do on YouTube. Continue to do it consistently, and it will be a business.
Yeah.
It will be. I promise you. You just got to give it some time.
That was the big thing for me is when I had a very small audience, but enough to be just like a little bit of a step. It was the beginning of 2017. I said, I love doing this. I've been uploading very infrequently. I said, I'm going to upload it it was one of my friends who had started doing gaming YouTube stuff and it was working for him. I said, I'm going to treat it like it's my job, like still enjoying it,
There
but
you go.
upload it the consistency it will. And by the end of that year, it was working out.
That's
So
it.
it's like, I
That's
just
awesome.
went for it. And it's like, I know you were doing a daily grind for videos
Dude,
for like 2 years.
I had a year straight where I was doing daily videos, and it was just like, so many of them were so
That's a
bad.
lot.
I know, but now you're here.
Yeah.
Because of that.
That's true.
That's-
Yeah,
that's why.
I mean, I used to refresh. That was before I even did. I'd looked at Social Blade. I probably didn't even know about it in college. And I was just I would always keep one tab open on my MacBook of what I started the day at. So I'd keep that.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I'd post the video and I'd be tracking. Did it get any Reddit traction? Fuck, because I was relying so heavily on Reddit.
Yeah.
And then I would pop open a new tab and see what the daily thing is. Then I'd go back to the old one and hit refresh and be like, oh, 10 more subs. And it was such a goddamn grind.
Sounds like
it is.
But-
It is.
How did you start getting Reddit traction? Did it just like one of your videos just got picked up and then
Yeah.
it kind of snowballed? Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. It was because we've been doing YouTube shit and sketches since we were in middle school. Just
Yeah.
dinking around, never really trying to think this is gonna pop off. Just like funny friend stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I went. I was a freshman in college, and I went back home to visit, and I made a 9-second video on Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, at that time, I'd been looking at the YouTube haiku subreddit, under
yeah.
30-second comedy videos. If you're not aware of it, probably 90% of the audience is from there. So I've been watching that stuff all the time, and then I was like, wait a minute, I could put this video on there because I made a video called Indiana Jones drum cover positive feedback only, and it was just it
Still
was
a great title. It's a really funny title.
I do like that one, yeah. And it was just me looking directly at the camera. I had my mom's gardening hat on as my shitty Indiana Jones thing, and I had the theme song blaring in the background, and I was looking right at it, and I was at a snare drum, and I was just hitting the snare to the beat, bum bum bum. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a shitpost meme thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can put that on YouTube haiku, and it was the top link of the day.
Oh, wow.
And I go to
Holy
bed, and I was
shit.
like, 35,000 views on this thing.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
And I was
Holy
like,
fuck.
maybe I could do this again. And I just, every once in a while, just started getting the ball rolling and
Yeah.
then tried to do it daily for a year.
That's
and
great.
That is awesome.
That's it.
rousing ground, baby.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And
Yep.
I just don't. A lot of people I hear will say, "Well, but I've been posting videos for 3 years." I'm like, "Well, how often do you post?" Like, one a month,
Yeah, no, you haven't.
one every other week. I was like, "You've not been doing it then.
Exactly.
You haven't been doing it." So.
One piece of advice too is for the people that do have a little bit of momentum going, maybe got some bigger videos popping up. I think a mistake a lot of people make is depending on the kind of content they make, like if they're doing sketches or music or something, people get a little bit of a following, a little bit of a platform, and then they think that they need to A, do constant update videos, or B, publicly pre-commit to deadlines that are very difficult to follow through on. Like people will be like, hey guys, videos every Tuesday, and then 2 weeks will go by, and they'll have a dedicated video for like, hey guys, sorry I didn't post last Tuesday. It's like, you're losing a man.
Yeah.
Content or get the fuck out.
Yeah.
make it.
It's like pay attention to what works and do that.
Yeah.
That was so stupid for me. Is I had older commentary videos that it was like right before. Did I say this to Chris or was this off podcast for the last episode?
I can't remember.
Okay, either way, well, then you're gonna have to hear it again, guys. Sorry. It was like early October of 2017, and I was like, wow, the older commentary videos I posted are like going from like 3 to 10K views, and then I was just like, better just keep doing sketches and not commentary things. And then the first one I posted on Halloween, just like I was like by December I had 75K from 10K,
Yeah.
and it was just like paying attention once to what works and like posting what people wanted to watch, and it worked. So it's like.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have done 20 more update videos though.
That probably would have been.
That's magic though to people. They don't realize the pattern. They don't know. They may not see that pattern.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just requires somebody else to be like, oh, it's because you did that. And they're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're right. Commentary videos. All right, yeah, I'll do those.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. And it's so lucky when the algorithm and when just everything momentum-wise coincides with what you want to make.
Yes.
It's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
people want to see this. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yep. There's a good example I have of that, which is PewDiePie.
Yeah.
PewDiePie is, in my opinion, a very talented and funny individual and has been working very, very hard for a very long time. But also, he was doing gaming when it was just popping off. And he got caught in that really good luck cycle of making really funny gaming videos that a lot of people could watch. And also, gaming was getting recommended, just through the roof on YouTube. So he rode that wave and is still riding that wave. And I'm sure he'd say the same thing to you, that it was like obviously right place, right time, but also he was really good at making content and it's really funny. So that's a good example of that.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of creators too, there still are a bunch of huge juggernauts that kind of sprung up during that period, the Markiplier, Cinnamon Toast Can, Jacksepticeye and stuff. But a lot of those people, you get a little bit of a wave and they go, oh shit, I didn't change or I didn't adapt at all. I'm done.
Yeah.
But they kept going because they had to change and adapt. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, boy, what a just even career-wise diversifying of content. PewDiePie has really adapted a lot over the years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously he's made some mistakes along the way. It's one of those things I have to always acknowledge. Because otherwise
I was not aware of these. What?
Because people are always like, "What? You love PewDiePie?" I'm like, "All right, no, he's made mistakes,
Yeah.
obviously, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, he's a talented guy, just like Jacksepticeye, or they've adapted. That's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and he still works hard. I mean, daily videos, that's no easy feat, regardless of if you have full-time editors especially for him, his setup is so simple. It's just turn on the camera, all right, edit it, Brad's,
Yeah.
That's hard work. It's daily.
Yeah.
It is.
Some shit.
Are we doing questions? Or are we doing mail? What are we doing?
Let's open one package and see what the fuck it is.
Okay.
There's a lumpy package.
Are we doing the mail intro? Because it's like not.
Let me check real quick if we're gonna do the mail.
Yeah, we
We
usually
always
yell
do
it,
that.
but it doesn't. When you're in front of people, it's kind of embarrassing.
I feel it.
PO box is in the description. This is like when you go to your. Oh, if you guys need to pee at all, you can just literally go pee whenever. Oh,
We're fine.
you know, here
Or do it in
on
the
the
seat.
floor. Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah.
This is. It feels weird. This is the second like opening mail when guests are on the podcast. But it feels like when you go to your friend's birthday party and you have to watch them open. Look what I got.
Also, yesterday was so uneventful because everyone keeps sending us either books on communism or capitalism. It's like we got a communist manifesto, and then we said like, don't send us more,
Oh,
and then
Don't ever say that.
Yeah, and this is the second time I've talked about that, so we're definitely gonna get it.
All right. Our one package of the day from
What the fuck
Tyler.
is this?
We got farm animal butt magnets.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's pretty good. Dude, that's the thing too is we like somebody sends us something cool and we're like, "Oh, these are cool gummy bears." Then the next 2 weeks we get like 3 fucking giant bags of gummy bears, you know. So you have to be measured.
Well,
And-
you also said send us more magnets.
Oh,
we need
shit.
magnets.
That's right. How did he do that? And then we got the Master of Disguise on
Why?
DVD.
Very good.
I remember liking this as a kid.
Have you ever seen that?
It's probably
Yeah.
terrible.
I've
but
never seen it.
If you watch it now, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I liked it when it came
Yeah.
out.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's it for mail. That was the most timid thing at all. Let's take some frickin' preguntas right now. That's
That means
Spanish
questions.
for
Hell yeah.
Yo!
You know, she's fluent in Spanish.
Dude, these guys fuck with Spanish?
She fucks with all of Spanish.
Really? Where did you learn
Yeah.
that? Like growing up?
Well, I'm Mexican, and also I lived in Mexico for a few years.
No
so.
way. Like, so you're like perfectly fluent?
I'm like, I used to be a lot more fluent. I'm meh, but I understand it perfectly.
Yeah.
So that's something.
That's definitely something.
Yeah.
More than I do.
Two entiendes.
Uh huh.
Ah.
I do understand.
Okay.
This is a very woke podcast. I wasn't gonna go full like dance monkey dance, like do Spanish. So we're doing some questions. You can follow us on Twitter at Eddie Burback and at Gus Buckets and at Bruce Green
That's right.
and at Autumn Farrell.
Underscore.
Oh boy. Here
Who's
we go.
the bastard?
Sorry,
Who's
I'm
the
so
bastard?
sorry. Underscore Roughhouse.
So RUFHAUS.
Okay.
And
Did you ever
it's
try
not
it?
a funhouse thing.
No, it's not a funhouse thing.
I used to be a DJ, and that was my DJ
What?
name.
Dude,
and I'm
no
sorry.
way.
It's not a good story. It's embarrassing. But yeah, someone has the Rough House without the underscore, but their
Is it a
account is
competing DJ?
suspended. It's not a competing DJ, but I wish it was because I
Yeah.
could then message them and be like, "Hey," but their account's suspended, so I can't get it.
Those bastards. Do you think you're ever gonna try to get at Autumn Farrell or what?
I've never even checked.
You should.
Check
should-
before
yeah,
this
you're
goes
right.
live. 'cause
Oh
it's
yeah,
always-
someone's gonna be like, "Excuse me, you can have it for $1,000."
Fuck
Fuck
you.
you. Did you always have Bruce Green, or did you have to?
I did. I registered it whenever Twitter came out. It was like 2007.
Ah, damn.
And
I
it was-
should have done that.
It was one of those things where I got ahead of it. I do that with every platform though, so it's really embarrassing because I have it for like Vero and like
I don't even know what that
and
is.
some social media from 2 years ago, and I got a DLive account. You know what DLive is, guys?
No.
DLive. Hold on, I'll explain it to you. DLive is Twitch, but you get paid in Bitcoin.
Wait,
Whoa!
that's the new one, right? Okay, yeah. I
It's
wasn't
really
sure.
stupid. It's so the whole thing is like blockchain payment for streaming. So there's no middleman basically. There's an Amazon. Instead, you get paid. I can't say it without laughing. So either way, it's gonna be the most popular thing in 3 years. I promise you that.
What's your Venmo username?
My Venmo username is probably Bruce-Green-89 or something.
You might get sent some money for
Yeah.
it.
Guys, smash that MF and Venmo button.
$10 million right there, baby.
There you go. So yeah, give us your questions. Follow us on Twitter. Right now we got a little question here that I'm going to adapt a little bit from some fucking kid. Dude, that's his at is some fucking
It
kid.
is, yeah.
You should have snagged that one up, dude, years ago.
So
Dude,
cool.
you fucked up.
I
What are you doing?
He says, of all your commentary videos, which topic have you been the most heated about? We can cover that for news coverage too.
Okay, so go ahead. I want to hear your guys' answer first.
Mine's obvious, and we talked about it on Dude Soup and also here. It's like I've talked about it a fucking
Oh, that
million.
dude.
Yeah.
The dude, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because there were some, like, or back in the day when the Paul brothers were acting up, it like really would piss me off, especially the way they were like just manipulating kids and everything like that. But yeah, when it gets into personal life stuff, it's a little bit more of a like heated thing.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Mine's Chris Brown, always
yeah,
Chris
Brown is
Dude, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't understand that at all.
Did you guys see Justin Bieber's shitty like Tumblr picture on his Instagram?
No.
Okay, hold on.
Pull it up.
Well, like so many people defend him still.
Yeah.
Dude, he's.
Why?
I'm
So
saying right
weird.
now, this year he's got an album coming out right now, and it's going to be the 100% recovery of Chris Brown in the public eye, which I find disgusting.
No,
but
it can't be.
It-
It's
dude,
got to be the opposite.
dude,
right?
let me look it
People
up.
featured on it.
Let me look it up right now.
Yeah,
sure, we're pulling
people like defend that man to the grave.
So Bieber, I'm not gonna read the paragraph he posted, but it's like a 2014 Tumblr post. So it says, Tony, I'll have you throw it up. The legendary equation, and it's MJ plus Tupac equals Chris Brown.
What?
I don't
What?
understand.
Why?
Yeah, and the whole post is like, when Chris Brown dies, we're all gonna praise him, so you might as well praise him now.
What?
Yeah,
From
and-
Justin Bieber?
Dude,
Yeah.
the validation is sickening from other celebrities.
Yeah, seriously.
What,
the fuck?
what is it that they know that we don't? That's the question. That's the thing I keep asking myself. Like, why does every celebrity around Chris Brown defend Chris Brown?
Like they're so confident about it.
they're
too.
so confident, and I feel like they got to know something we don't know.
I don't know.
I
yeah.
think that it was a ripple effect, both financially and personal connection wise, for a lot of these people. So it's like in the years surrounding the Rihanna incident, everybody pulled back, but he probably had a handful of public supporters that were like still like, hey, I don't know, what am I? I'm G-Eazy. No, he's relevant these days. I don't know. Fill in the blanks with your fucking favorite 2006 rapper. Or whatever.
Got it. Okay.
So I think that these people are like, hey, this is fine. And then Chris kept making money. So other celebrities were saying like, oh, I can throw my name in there. He's making money. And, well, this guy said he's okay. And then it just snowballed. And now, like, I'm telling you right now, too, he's got Chris Brown has an album coming out in June called Indigo. And here are some of the people featured on the album. We got Tory Lanez, which is, I don't know who that is. That was a weak name to start out of the game. Tyga,
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj, G-Eazy, Justin Bieber, Juicy J, Juvenile, H.E.R., Tank, Sage the Gemini, Lil Jon, Lil Wayne, Joyner Lucas, Gunna, and Drake.
Drake's a big one where it's
Dude,
like,
what the fuck?
Drake is
Yeah.
even
Shit.
Drake alone is like full validation.
Yeah.
for him
I'm
now.
telling you,
Yeah.
they I mean, like, did Chris Brown go to each one of them and apologize or something?
I
And they're
don't
like,
know.
we forgive you. Like, I don't know.
yeah, I don't.
That's so weird.
It's the weirdest shit, and he's doing stuff like publicly commenting on Rihanna's like
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw
Insta
that
pages
too.
and stuff,
Yeah.
and
There's-
dude, the churches people too. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, what the fuck?
did you
I don't
see?
understand.
For people that aren't familiar, when Chris Brown released a collab with Marshmello again.
Oh, yeah.
Who again? Fuck the choice for Marshmello to do that, and fuck the Lil Dicky choice for working with him too. When he released the Marshmello single, the band Churches made a public Instagram post, and they said they were just like, we respect Marshmello as a creator. We don't respect this decision. It just furthers the a public opinion that it's okay to work with abusers.
And I believe they had a song together before. That's why they felt the need to say something about Marshmallows because they had collaborated
Yes.
before.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But then, yeah, so Chris Brown, well, clearly, anytime you mention anything negative about Chris Brown, there are genuinely thousands of people out there that will constantly search his name, not even in hashtags, and just dive in to, like, suicide bomb you with awful comments, you know? Like, fuck you, Team Breezy for life. Go stream Undecided. So, like, so Chris Brown, like, publicly commented on another church's post. Let me see if I can find the quote, dude.
Yeah,
it's
he said all
mental.
kinds of
I
shit, yeah.
read that quote and I was like, how does this? Again, there has to be something that I don't know.
Yeah, but the
about
weird-
the scenario.
The weird thing though is like even in that comment you can tell he's still insane.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just like
He's wild.
I know he's never. What has he done anything redeeming? Like no,
No.
he's just
No.
been a, like.
I mean,
Has
I
he
made.
ever apologized? Did he ever apologize for the Rihanna thing?
I think he did.
Okay.
But still,
All right.
well, here's the thing too. Like, you could make the argument, because it's such a weird thing. We were just talking about this. Public perception wise, even, there is a case to be made for, like, how do we decide on a case by case basis when someone has, quote, done their time? What is their road
Yes,
to
yeah,
redemption?
yeah.
I am of the personal opinion that the Rihanna incident, when he almost fucking killed her, should have been a forever career ender at the very least. But since then, he has, like, over 10 different just assault and battery related charges
Yeah.
on the books as late as last last fucking year, where he's like threatening women and hitting people and shit, which sounds like kid talk, but legal, still in your legal term.
Yeah.
So it's just like he's clearly not changed.
I hate it too. I really like Jamie Foxx as an artist, but he was on Rogan and he was talking about it, and he was like, well, here's my perception of it is like people like Bieber and Chris Brown have such God-given talent that God has to give them a little bit of something wrong too.
Oh
he's like,
What?
pretty much
Shut
like
up.
Chris Brown's so good at dancing that he should be excused for the other shit. Like,
Also, Chris Brown isn't even that he's
No,
fine.
yeah,
he's
he's
good,
fine.
but
Yeah, he's fine.
he's not fucking the next coming of Jesus. Holy
Yeah.
or
shit.
MJ plus
Yeah.
Tupac.
Oh my god.
I missed that math unit.
I made a meme format too that I'm gonna put on Twitter later because I made a meme out of it when I was making fun of Bieber. That was just this really fucking stupid. Just see, I just like fully go up too, but I photoshopped all this stuff out of it too because I love the legendary equation. What kind of fucking caption is that,
Dude.
He had said, so Chris Brown went into the comment sections of a different church's post, and he said that he wishes the group would walk in front of a speeding bus full of mental patients.
Which doesn't make any sense, number one.
Yeah.
And also, number two, he wished death on them.
Yeah, what were
Yeah.
you saying? It's already a bus. You don't
Yeah,
have to
I know.
put
You don't need to fill it with mental patients.
Also, what would that do to the people getting hit by the bus? That doesn't change
It's like
a thing.
heavier bus.
I don't understand.
yeah, you're right, because it would kill all those mental patients in there, too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like, so
Chris
he
Brown's
has to
a
be on the
serial
bus.
killer. Yeah.
You heard it here first.
It's a whole fucking mess. No, but have you guys, I don't know, talking about the news regularly, is there stuff that you feel very passionately about, or?
I don't think there's been anything for me.
I don't know. We were actually just talking about this yesterday. Is I am passionate about a lot of things, but I never get to talk about it on content generally because I don't. That's not what we make. Usually we make comedy videos, right? So I'm not sitting here being like, oh, what's my next commentary video? And I think I'd really like to do that on YouTube and start making commentary videos because when I saw Gus's Chris Brown video, I was like, man, thank God somebody's doing this because I'll read those articles and be like, what the fuck is going on? I'm always in my head, I'm like, I don't understand why Chris Brown's still getting passes. It was the same with R. Kelly for years.
Yeah.
And R. Kelly, I was always like, he pissed on a 14-year-old years ago.
Yeah.
What are we doing, right? And then I just recently, thankfully, R. Kelly sort of outed himself as an insane man.
Yeah.
So ideally, people aren't supporting him as much. But I don't know. I wish I had more of a platform. I could probably just do it on YouTube, just make commentary videos on YouTube.
Well, that's one thing, business-wise, too. For the, metadata for commentary videos, the algorithm, it's, crack for it.
It is,
I don't,
yeah. It's searchable.
Yeah, I think some things, too, is, even people newer to it are, marked as something different in the algorithm. So it's, someone will be new to it, and they'll have, 1 million subscribers in, 3 months. So it's,
wow.
it's a really good thing to do now, too, if you want to. Just,
I like to do it. I always keep up with all that pop culture shit just because I love it. I think it's great. And I always wondered what would happen if I made commentary videos. Would people be like, shut up, old man, or whatever?
It would fucking pop off.
Yeah, you have a great perspective for it. I would definitely, because a lot of that commentary stuff is they have a voice that's interesting for the perspective for it, and you definitely have one that I would want to hear you talk about stuff.
Oh well, I would love to do it. You and I should do it.
Me?
I always like hearing because her commentary is really insightful, and you generally you tweeted a lot actually on your Twitter. So, but it's one of those things that I always like to hear her talk more. So.
Yeah.
You guys.
It's true.
Got a slinging one here. The question is, what historical time period are you most interested in? And it comes from a user who I think is probably biased in the answer, at Julius Caesar. You guys history nerds?
Oh, fuck.
You guys
I don't
fucking
know.
nerds?
Did you guys watch, what was the name of it? It was a cartoon. It was something kids, Liberty's
Oh,
Kids
dude,
or
yeah, on
something.
PBS.
Yeah, what the fuck? Anytime anyone asks me a historical moment, I just all of that flashes to my head because it was an animated Ben Franklin was the papa of the show, and then it was
Yeah.
it was really strange. I don't know. I don't have an answer. Sorry.
I do
That's-
Revolutionary War. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's Revolutionary
Yeah.
War is what that
That's
is.
cool. Yeah. I just want animated Ben Franklin to be my dad. That's all.
I guess to his username, definitely ancient Rome around the time that Rome was
Damn.
the number one civilization in the world. Because I think that place is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It was so cool, and it was basically the closest to I think what the United States is now, which is sad and also cool at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they did a lot of bad shit back then in ancient Rome. And so hopefully we won't get there. But it's an interesting analog that happened 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you a nerd?
Does this answer your question?
Oh, wow.
shit.
Bill.
Had
Yeah.
no idea, dude. So sorry, man.
But no, honestly, that's a good one. I've always really liked. I don't think I would want to interest. I've always loved Greek mythology. I don't know. It was like right when I was in elementary school and we started reading into that stuff. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Loved the Percy Jackson books. God damn, they massacred those things in the movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did they? Oh, I didn't know that.
The first picture, for if any Harry Potter stuff you guys are into, picture the first movie. They were like, let's just take out Voldemort for this one, and we'll make Crab the villain. That's kind of
What
what
the fuck?
it's like. There was a kid that was one of the camp members with them that was a henchman in the first book to the main villain.
Oh.
And they just made him the main villain.
That's really weird.
It was
Why would
it
they
was
do
really
that?
fucking
Yeah, why
weird.
would they do that?
Yeah, and then in the second movie where that villain had already been set up, they were like, let's just throw him in as this big CGI guy at the end, and they'll defeat him. You're like, there are 5 more books of this. I don't know. I have no idea what any of this decision making is. One thing is actually, we talked about it on the podcast before. And I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Rick Riordan, the guy who writes those. Some guy messaged me after we talked about it and was like, hey, I'm friends with his son.
Oh.
And I think this is published too. He was the entire movie making process of those 2 movies, he was constantly emailing the studio and be like, you're fucking it up. I read the script.
Oh,
This is
no.
messed up. Fix
Really?
it. And they
Oh,
weren't listening
no.
to him.
Huh.
Oh,
That's
that
really interesting.
sucks.
Yeah. So hopefully there'll be a second go at those that aren't what happened.
Yeah.
I hope they call him Percy's back, son. You didn't have to laugh.
Dude.
Gus, what's your favorite point in history there? Revolutionary War?
I think Revolutionary War, yeah. I also like medieval time stuff a lot. Just kind of,
Dude,
you know.
medieval times scare me.
All that
There's a lot of
gothic shit.
weird shit. There was this alchemy exhibit at the what is the name of that museum that we went to?
The one over here, LACMA?
No, the one on top of the mountain.
Oh, the Getty.
The Getty, yeah. They had
Yeah.
fuck,
Oh,
Jesus, sorry. I don't know. They had an alchemy exhibit there, and they had all these scrolls and shit of just old insane shit that people thought where they were you put little people inside of these test tubes and then it becomes gold. I'm like, what the fuck were they doing,
Jesus
dude? I know,
Christ.
it's
Wild.
scary.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it is cool though.
Some spooky
The
ass
Getty's
shit.
really
Yeah.
cool, but I'm one of those people where it's I like to see a painting, but I don't look at it more. And we were with people that really were into painting, so I was just pretending the whole time, wow, okay,
yeah,
this
yeah.
one's really good. And it's I don't. It's I look once, and I'm got it. I got the gist.
Slick question here from 50 Shades of Chase. How do channels connected to large networks such as Funhouse and Inside Gaming with Rooster Teeth deal with random miscellaneous copyright abuse from companies like UMG?
That's a good question.
I actually wondered that now.
So right now,
Yeah.
So a lot of the times, if it's we don't usually because we avoid it. So a lot of the times we know what the rules are on YouTube and we just stay away from it. We don't use copywritten music almost ever. If we're using things for parody purposes, like if we're using clips of movies or music like that, we'll use just a couple seconds of it, 2-3 seconds, and then usually it won't get copyright flagged. I'm pretty sure it's because of that we're with Rooster Teeth. So Rooster Teeth will sort of they are like a shield almost, and they don't screw with us because YouTube knows we're a trustworthy channel. We're not doing it. We're not ripping somebody's movie off and then re-uploading it for
Right.
views. We're doing it for fair use, right? It's for parody, for fair use, for commentary, whatever else. The legal reasons that you use that stuff. So they know that we usually don't get copyright hit. Recently, though, we do a movie podcast and we show trailers over and over and over and over as just B-roll for the movie podcast, and those get hit.
Damn.
And we've been trying to figure out how to avoid it, and actually the answer to that is to not use it. We just talk about the movie for an hour and we don't use B-roll, and that's it. And it sucks.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
does suck, but that's what we have to do. So
Damn, that does
Yeah.
suck.
yeah, that's the way it goes. This is YouTube,
It's fucking Wild
Yeah.
West, baby.
It's YouTube's rules and it's YouTube's platform. So it's if you want to make money on YouTube, you got to follow the rules. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing any side project stuff right now, or are you doing online content?
Not really, besides streaming with him occasionally, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just doing my editing thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Was this supposed to be the end of the podcast? Did you think that would be a good ending to it? Did you think just breathing and then stopping was going to be good?
He's holding his breath.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
He's
Don't
holding-
lower that.
he's
It's not
holding
going to do
his
anything for you. Bye, guys. And then, no.